What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is a little bit different because we have OTS 18 coming out pretty quickly, and the question becomes, is OTS 18 that good? That is the question. That is the big question. Is OTS 18 that good? So OTS 18, the new tournament pack, OTS 18 will be released February 23rd in North America. You're in Europe, and of course everywhere else it'll be released on the 17th. So it'll be released what, 6 days from now, and then about a week from now here in North America. What's interesting about this OTS is that it goes within the parameters of Battle of Chaos and Grand Creators as well, which is very interesting to say the very least. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down up. I'm going to start with the comments, then go into the supers, and then reveal the ultimate rares for those who did not check it out. So first up, we have Ghost Trick Break. This is a really interesting card because Ghost Tricks, back in the day, Ghost Tricks didn't really do all that well, and I believe I think this card did not. Oh, okay, for a second, I thought it got an errata, but I guess not. This is a weird card because the effect reads, when exactly one face-up Ghost Trick monster you control and no other cards is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect is sent to the grave, target 2 Ghost Trick monsters in your grave with different names from the destroyed monster and special summon them in face-down defense. So it's kind of like a Monster Reborn Book of Moon of sorts. It's like they're like Monster Reborn, but in the form of a trap card. But it's interesting because you have to have Ghost Tricks with a different name from the monster that was destroyed. So if let's say, for example, Jack Frost was sent to the graveyard, you can target Ghost Trick pretty much like any 2 Ghost Tricks that's not Jack Frost, and you just summon them both in defense, which is kind of okay. But I believe the ruling is that they have to be face down until your turn comes, which is kind of shitty. Then of course we've got Dark Magical Circle. This is one that I don't really need to explain what it does. We all know what this card does. Once you activate it, you excavate the top 3 cards of your main deck. If one of them is a Dark Magician card, you add it to your hand. The rest go back on top of your deck. And it's also a bottomless trap hole Cosmic Cyclone. Not much else to say about that. Then of course we've got Goveg of the Nordic Ascendant. This card is actually really cool because this was the first printing of this card. Excuse me, was actually the Legendary Hero decks, and now it's being reprinted in OTS 18. So if you guys have never seen this card before, I don't think I ever talked about this on the channel, which is kind of odd. It's a light attribute fairy link 1 with 800 attack, and the arrow is bottom left. And it requires 1 level 5 or lower Nordic monster. And the effect reads, if this card is link summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards from your hand and or field, and if you do, special summon that many Nordic monsters from your deck in defense position. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters except AZR monsters, nor can you normal summon or set any monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. While this card points to an easier monster, your opponent cannot target that monster with card effects. Also, monsters your opponent controls cannot target this card for attacks. So what's cool about this is that this basically helps you go into any of the 3 Nordic gods. If you're able to summon her and then use her effect to go directly into Odin first, you essentially just have game on board, because Odin just can just bring back traps when it's resummoned from the graveyard, which is really cool. Then of course we got then also we got Ghost Trick, Angel of Mischief. This is actually their Xyz monster, which is actually not the best. Honestly, this isn't the best. I think Alucard probably would have to be the more better of the Ghost Trick Xyz monsters. But her effect reads: you can also Xyz summon this card by using a Ghost Trick Xyz monster you control as the material, except this card. The materials attached to that monster also become the Xyz materials to this card, of course. When the number of Xyz materials on this card become 10, you win the duel. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card and a Ghost Trick spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can attach a Ghost Trick card from your hand to this card as material. So, funny enough, this was released in World Superstars, and it's interesting because, yes, obviously when it becomes 10, you do win, but there's going to be so many outs to this card. There's really no way you're going to win. So I don't know why they reprinted this one. I think they could have reprinted Alucard, in my opinion, because Alucard is so much better than this card. In my honest opinion. Yes, I mean, again, it's 2,000, 2,500. You know, it's attack and defense or 2,000, 2,500. But the problem, I swear that dog needs to shut up. The problem with Angel of Mischief is that yes, you do win the duel with this card, but it says once per turn you can attach a Ghost Trick card from your hand. You might not have any cards in your hand to attach to Angel as the material, which is the only downside to the card. Then of course we have the incantations. We have Pencil Plume. This is basically one of the combo starters for Drytron and pretty much any other ritual-based decks, which is like really awesome. So its effect reads: you can reveal one ritual monster in your hand, special summon both this card from your hand, and one incantation monster from your deck, except this card. If this card is special summoned from the deck, you can target a ritual monster in your grave, add it to your hand. You can only use one Pencil Plume effect per turn, and only once that turn. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. So obviously, it does lock you out of the extra deck, so it's like a Buster lock. But what's really cool about this card is that it helps you get the ritual materials you need to summon that ritual monster that you want to summon, and the incantations have become more of a I guess you could say it's become like a package of sorts for ritual based decks such as Drytron, and even also the Cyber Angels when it became its own deck. Now the Cyber Angels are also a part of the Drytron archetype as well, which is pretty funny. But next up we have Incantation Talismandra, and its effect reads: you can reveal one ritual monster from your hand, in your hand, special summon both this card from your hand and one incantation monster from the deck, except this card. If this card is special summoned from the deck, you can add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand. You'll use the effect once per turn. So they're pretty much they're pretty much they're pretty much the same thing. They're pretty much the same thing, which is really cool. But I don't know. That's kind of a weird one. The incantations have been reprinted so many times. There was like no point. Next up, we got Vampire Retainer. This is actually a really intriguing card. So Vampire Retainer's effect reads: if this card is special summon, you can pay 500 life points, add 1 Vampire spell trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send a Vampire card from your hand or face the field to the grave, special summon this card, but banish him when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect once per turn. So how do you bypass the banishing effect? You use the monster as exceeds material, and you just keep using the effect over and over and over again. So that's actually pretty cool. Then of course next up we got Vampire Familiar. I believe this was an old card. Or I guess not. It's kind of an old card. It was released, I think it was Dark Savior. Yeah, so Dark Saviors was its release, and then it got reprinted in the Gold Sarcophagus tins, which was pretty cool. But Vampire Familiar's effect reads: if this card is supposed to summon, you can pay 500 life points, add a vampire monster from your deck to your hand, except this card. If this card is in your grave, you can send a vampire card from your hand or face the field to the grave. Special summon the card, banish it when it leaves the field. So it's pretty much the same, but what's cool is that Familiar focuses on the monsters, Retainer focuses on the spells and traps, which is pretty cool. Then we have Destiny Hero Celestial. This is a really cool one. We all know what the card does. This is essentially your Pot of Greed for the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer package, which is really cool. Then we have the Phantom Knights of Silent Boost. This is excuse me, actually a really old card. It's a really old card, but the card is so fucking good. So good. And it did get several erratas over the years, but its first printing was Wing Rares as a super rare. Then it became a secret rare in Battles of Legend Relentless Revenge, which I did do an opening on back in the day if you guys want to check that out. Then of course the hero decks, which I did do an opening on, as well as Maximum Gold Eldorado, which I did do an opening on. I think it was like a few weeks ago. If you guys want to check out those openings. But the effect of Silent Boots reads: if you control a Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. You can banish this card from your grave, add a Phantom Knight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So what's cool about this is that it's a Cyber Dragon spell trap loaded. This helps you go get out. This basically helps you get out your Fog Blade, your sword, pretty much whatever spell trap you need. This card basically just surges it out and it helps you thin out your deck even more. Then of course we've got Virg of the Nordic Alfar. This is, I believe, when was this one? The hero decks? Storm of Ragnarok. Oh, really? That far out? Wow. Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. So Virg of the Nordic Alfar's effect reads: after you normal summon this card, you can normal summon 1 Nordic monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. If this face-up card on the field is sent to the grave, target 1 Nordic relic card in your grave, add that target to your hand. So not only is it graveyard, so not only is this a double summon, but it also allows you to get out one of your Nordic relics that's in your grave and just add it back to your hand, which is really cool. And that effect actually works when you use this card as synchro material, which is really good. Really cool. Really cool effect. What is up with my laptop? Why am I not allowed to go back? I pushed the button. There we go. Finally, my laptop is being stupid. Next up, we have Tangosnir. Tangoster of the Nordic Beasts. Yes. Tagnoster, I believe is how it's pronounced. So his effect reads, when a monster you control is destroyed by battle sent to your grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, when this defense position card on the field is changed to face-up attack, you can special summon a Nordic Beast from your deck in defense, except this card. So this is basically a way for you to not only get out another body on board, but if you summon the right Nordic Beast, you're able to summon another one, which will help you go into cards like Thor, Loki, even Odin for that matter. But you have to have the right card to pull it off. And then for the last of the commons, we've got Manju, the 10,000 Hands. This card, absolute house. No, I don't have anything to say about it. This is basically for the Drytrons. You can basically add a ritual spell or the monster from your deck to your hand. Plain and simple. Not much else to say about that. Not much else to say about that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then for the super rares. The super rares are going to probably shock you a lot more than probably the ultis, but you never know. Never know. So the first super rare we have is Monk of the Tenny. I believe this does not have an effect. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Monk of the Tenny does not have an effect. But I think honestly they could have put in something else other than Monk, but that's just my opinion anyway. Next up, we have Inzektor Picofelina, I believe how it's pronounced. And I have talked about this card on the channel before, as far as I remember. Or actually, no, I did not. I did not talk about this card. Okay, so this was actually released in Flames of Destruction as a common, and then it got reprinted as a common again in the tins, super rare, and grand creators. And now it's being reprinted as a super rare again in this set, OTS 18. So this works basically with obviously Inzektors. So, but it's interesting because it's generic. It's a generic insect monster. Generic for insect decks, which is really cool. But you want to use this mostly for the Inzektor deck itself, which I don't think, even with the new support that we got, the new world premiere card that we got in Grand Creators, part of that Create a Card project, I don't think Inzektors are gonna be meta. I really do not think so. But Picofelina's effect reads, if this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, then target one other insect monster you control, equip one insect monster from your deck to it as an equipped spell that gains this effect. The equipped monster gains 500 attack. You can target 3 insect monsters in your grave, shuffle them into the deck, then draw one card. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it's kind of like a pot of acquisitiveness, but instead of cards being being taken out of the banish pile, they're being taken out of the graveyard, which is really cool. So not too bad. It's not too bad of an effect. I mean 500 attack, that's like nothing, honestly. But still, it is what it is. Then of course we got Phantom Knights of Breaksword. It's Breaksword. Can't say anything else about it. Then of course we have Quaggar Hercules. Quaggar Hercules. It was actually released as a it was actually released in Tournament Pack first season back in 2002, and then Tournament Pack third season, I believe, in 2003. 3, if I remember correctly. But what's cool about this card is that while it's true that it does require Kuwagata and Hercules Beetle, it's a 6-star. What kind of target does this work for? You guys don't know? No? Ready Fusion. It's a Ready Fusion target. It is a fucking Ready Fusion target, which is stupid. It is so stupid. I don't know what the hell. I honestly don't know what the hell. It's too stupid. It is too stupid of a card. And it's a normal fusion, mind you. Then of course we've got Token Collector. I believe this one is, yeah, I believe this is the one where oh, okay. Okay, I think I remember talking about this card. So yeah, I think I remember talking about this card. So if you guys have never heard me talk about this card before, which I don't think I did, it's a 4-star Earth Fiend with 0 attack, 2000 defense, and its effect reads: if a token is special summoned except during the damage stab, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. If it was there when the token was summoned, or hand even if not. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is special summoned, destroy as many tokens of the field as possible. And if you do, this card gains 400 attack for each token destroyed. Now the player can special summon tokens. Oh, okay. So this was the card that would lock you and your opponent out of so many tokens, which would stop the plays of like Firewall Dragon and whatnot. So that's actually pretty cool. Then of course we've got Contact Seed. This is a really old card released in Extreme Force, and it was a short print common. A short print common. Then it became a common in the Megatins, and now a super rare in this set. So if you guys have never seen this card before, I don't think I ever talked about this card. There's a lot of cards that I didn't talk about. It's a 6-star Earth Insect with 1500 attack, 2200 defense, and the effect reads: when your opponent normal or special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand to the opponent's field and defense position. This card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon unless he uses the card as material. It's a fucking kaiju, basically. That's all I have to say. It is a fucking kaiju. What else do you want me to say? It's a kaiju Buster Lock, basically. Then of course we've got Kage Mushani, a really old card actually. I believe from, yeah, I thought so, from the premium collection tins that were released back in 14, if I remember correctly. I don't remember, but this is a really cool one because this would work. This actually works with the Phantom Knights, which is pretty crazy. When you normal summon a level 3 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Cannot be used as synchro material. So not only could this work with Phantom Knights, but it can also work with the Burning Abyss strategy if you were playing the Burning Abyss, which was pretty cool. Pretty cool, to say the very least. Not much else to say about that. That's like its only effect, literally. And then to round out the super rares of this set, we have next up we have Baby Cerosaurus, which I have to admit, actually kind of surprised me a bit. We are not. I don't think we ever got any Dino support. Honestly, but this was released in Power the Duelist back in 2006, so it was a long time. Then it became a part of the Dinosaurs Rage structure deck, and then it became a part of the Duelist League 13 participation promo. Then of course the Legendary Collection Joey's World, Dino Smasher's Fury Structure, El Dorado, National Gold El Dorado, and now a super rare. So this is like a massive upgrade for Baby Ceratosaurus, because again, it was mostly a common and a rare in those sets. But why is my desk moving? But now it's more. But now it's getting a rarity upgrade into a super rare, which is really cool. And its effect reads: if this card is destroyed by a card effect sent to the grave, special summon a level 4 lower Dino from your deck. So it's really cool because you're mostly running. I believe the decks were running only two copies. The Baby Terra, I believe it was running 3, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. But to round out the super rares, we have Destiny Hero Dasher. Yeah. Destiny Hero Dasher. I never thought that Dasher would ever get reprinted after all these years, because it was first printed in Power of the Duels as a rare and as a ultimate rare. Then it got reprinted as a common in Duels Pack Aster Phoenix, and then it got reprinted in the Legendary Collection 2 set, and we never got a reprint of it again. We never saw it again until just recently. Why? It's because of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. And what's cool about Dasher is that you can only use the effect one time. Unless if you resurrected it from the graveyard, and then you used it as like link material or fusion material again, then yeah, you might be able to. I believe that's the ruling. Let me check it out. Let's check out the rulings. Let's see. I guess not. There's really nothing, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, I guess there's nothing. Yeah, there's really nothing. So I'm assuming that you're allowed to do that. But what's interesting about this card is that there's a ruling. There's one ruling here that there's a question that says during my draw phase, while my hand is revealed by the effect of Respect Play, can I activate the effect of a Destiny Hero Dasher in my graveyard? The answer to that question is, even if your hand is revealed, you can show the card drawn during the draw phase and activate the effect of Destiny Hero Dasher. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I guess you are allowed to resummon Dasher from your graveyard, and when it's back in the graveyard, you can actually use the effect again. So it's kind of like it's kind of a weird one, but what's cool, but the effect of Dasher reads: once per turn, you contribute one of the monster. This card gains 1,000 attack until the end phase. If this card attacks, change it to defense position at the end of the battle phase. One time only, when you draw a monster card during your draw phase, while this card is in your grave, you can reveal it and special summon it. This card must be in your grave to activate and resolve the effect. So interestingly enough, you can actually resummon this card, and when it's back in the graveyard, you can use the effect again, which is pretty cool. Now for the ultimate rares, and you guys are probably gonna lose your shit. The first ulti that I'm seeing here on Wikipedia, big shout out, no copyrights of course, is Fusion Destiny. I mean, come on, it makes sense, right? Celestial's in this set, Dasher's in this set. Might as well get Fusion Destiny, right? I'm pretty sure the next OTS set we're probably gonna get DPE as the ulti, but you never know. You never know. The next ultimate rare is Zeus, Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. This is basically an Omni Board wipe. It's an Omni board wipe, which is really cool. And then the last ultimate rare is Dogmatica Ecclesia the Virtuous. If you guys have never seen this card before, or never saw me talk about this card, it's a 4-star light spellcaster with 1500 attack and defense, and her effect reads, cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster special summon from the extra deck. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If a monster special summon from the extra deck is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can activate this effect. Add 1 Dogmatica card from your deck to your hand except this card. You cannot special summon monster from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So what's cool about this is that it's protected from your opposed monsters that were summoned from the extra deck. It's a Cyber Dragon, and it's also a Stratos for the entire Dogmatica deck. I may build this deck, but I'm not so sure how to build it. If you guys have any ideas on how to build Dogmatica, let me know in the comments, because I'm like really tempted to build them, but I don't really know the strategy. But again, it's basically a Cyber Dragon. It's basically a Cyber Dragon Stratos, which is really good. Really good. One of the best combo starters of the whole deck, which is really cool. But all in all, OTS 18, my thoughts on it, honestly, it's not too bad. It's not too bad of a set. I think, honestly, in my opinion, in my honest opinion, I think maybe I think there could have been other cards that might have been more better suited for this set. Like maybe I don't know, like maybe one of the Nordic gods or something. I don't know. This is kind of an odd one. Compared to the last OTS. This one might be just a little bit better, with the fact that you have Dasher getting reprinted after all these years. Babysitter Swords getting reprinted again. You know, and then of course too, Celestial getting reprinted, which I believe came as a secret rare in Destiny Soldiers, which I did do an opening on. And then of course the Hero Dex as a common, which I think were the only 2 printings of it, which was kind of interesting. But all in all, this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. Do I recommend this set? You know what? Yeah, I will admit, yes, I do. But the only downside, I think Zeus could have been in the super rare slot, because it's already expensive enough as a secret rare and as a Starlight rare in Phantom Rage, and it's already like I think the secret rare is like, what, close to $100 or something like that, and then the Starlight rare is like $200-300, right? It's just like $200-300. The ultra rare one from the tins is like what, $20-30-40. So as the ultimate rare, think of how much money that is right there. But other than that, I'm actually okay with this. I am actually okay. I think this might be one of the more better OTS sets that we've had in the last, what, 4 years, I believe. I think in the last 4 years, in my personal opinion. But that brings me to the question of the day. What are your guys' thoughts on OTS 18? Let me know in the comments below. And that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys want to see more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which get posted every Friday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.